Mm-hmm. We going Saba Odie. Now you niggas know me. I did not put my shit in there. Ah, fuck! Ah, shit. Ah, fuck. Ah, shit. I hit my arm. That was fucking painful. Ah, fuck. Ah, shit. I hit my arm. Kind of getting cold in this room. What's good, Mike? Sheesh, man. Thanks for joining back, bro. Got you for an hour, so that's cool. Okay, let's see. Where are my headphones? What's good, Mike? Sheesh, man. Thanks for joining back, bro. Got you for an hour, so that's cool. Alright. Now, let's see. Let's see. Audio. What's good, Karibo? How you doing? We're gonna try and get back to what we was doing before, if we can. But I'm not seeing this work as well. What the fuck is this? I feel like because of FaceTime, this is fucking up. All right. Why is it fucking with me? HD portrait. Start virtual camera. Why is it stuck on my home screen, bro? What is going on here? Stop streaming, start recording, start virtual camera. Okay. Not seeing anything pop up over here. Why Ukiyo versus Unohana is even close.
Okay. All right. So we got the audio. Good. Not understanding why. Good. Not. Why is this doing this to me tonight, y'all? Not sure what's going on, but it's not letting me actually. It's not. Is it OBS? Seems like we're having an OBS technical issue. While it sees me. Oh, let me refresh. Let me try and refresh. Refresh. People gotta understand light speed, techniques, strikes, reacting, and running are different stats, even different muscle groups altogether. I agree with that. And people do need to understand that first off. Is the video playing? I hope it's not playing. Okay, it's not playing. All right. Yeah, give me a second, y'all. I'm not sure why this shit is frozen on me. I might have to stop or start at the stream again. Mac OS. Why are you frozen? Oh, I know what to do. I'll just fucking remove it. There we go. Okay, we're good. We're back. We stopped at 12 minutes, 58 seconds. Cool. All right. Where's my charger? Cool. Phone's charging. Laptop is charging. We're good. We're back. I'm getting better at this technology stuff. Not to sound like an old guy, because I really am good at technology stuff. This is just annoying. The video is not playing. Just getting that off my chest. Yeah, no, I can. I agree with you overall. People do need to understand light speed techniques, strikes, reacting, and running are different stats. That's true. That's true. Um, for the most part, I think most people are okay with most series having, or at least the big three, having light speed reaction. It's everything else that comes into question, and at least as my knowledge goes, I want to say maybe with the exception of One Piece, because I think One Piece out of the big three does have the most based light speed scaling. But I also haven't taken a deep eye look into One Piece. I know Naruto's is mainly based off of statements. Y'all know how I feel about statements. I hate statements with no feats. A statement in a vacuum, just because they said it is true. No, that's not going to work for me. For Bleach, Bleach doesn't have many statements, if any at all, for like as far as like speed scaling, right? But the things that happen within Bleach, we can extrapolate feats from that, like Mimi Hagi reaching Soul Palace in a panel. Ichibe 2,000, 4,000 kilometers in a panel. Auschwitz, we can calc stuff like that. You know. But then there's the arguments of, okay, cool, let's no holds bar. Let's, how fast are these series without any of the aforementioned things I don't scale with, right? So we take into consideration all the Naruto speed feats, or all the Naruto light light speed stuff, right? So you got Haku, you got the fodder Samurai, you got the fodder Anbu. All of them were light speed. Raikage's light speed, Haku's light speed. Sure, okay, cool. And then I don't really know how the movement speed plays in, because if all of them are light speed, but then we get the data book saying Raikage is like almost light speed or rushing at light speed, it shouldn't be a surprise that he's light speed if all of them are already like doing light speed attacks and stuff, you know. Then you got Bleach with the whole you got the lieutenants dodging light Negacion. You got Arenero. I know people don't like defeat, but hey, if we're going to do a no holds bar, we'd have to include that too. Then we would have things like Seto's spiritual light interacting with that, you know, so it just kind of gets everywhere. But let's finish the video. Yeah, I'm kind of hungry too. I need some food.
Did the Narutoverse dirty by just capping everything at light speed. Also, just to add on, don't you dare use Urashiki as your saving grace, because Urashiki doesn't even exist in the manga. So don't you fucking dare try use him to like highball the speed scaling for the Narutoverse. You can't. You blatantly just can't. Nuh-uh.
I just noticed you guys can barely see me. No one said anything. It's okay. I'll fix me. I'll fix me. There we go. Urashiki, not really, bro. I mean, he was struggling against Kid Naruto in like Part 1 Jiraiya. If you mean his character, sure. I wasn't really a fan of the Gon fishing rod trope thingy. Not even to call it a trope. I wasn't a fan of it at all. I wasn't a fan of the move, the technique. I wasn't really a fan of it. It was like weird. We see him flying from constellations. We see who flying from constellations? Urashiki? He's flying from a star to where? Hey, sorry to interrupt, but did you read the Bleach Hell Chapter 1 Shot manga? Espada link? Not yet. I have not read the Bleach one shot from Hell. I have not read that yet. There's a lot of Bleach content that I really haven't just engaged with. Despite me doing a whole video on the cosmology, I haven't finished all of Can't Fear Your Own World. I haven't finished it. It's a lot of stuff. Triple AP scaling would do JoJo's Bizarre Adventure 30. Would it though? I'm not familiar with JoJo, Michael. Like, is there a specific reason? Do they like? Are they like super statement based? And mind, you can be statement based. It really just depends on how your feats play out with the statements.
Anyways, so let's see what Ichigo has to bring to the table. I'll get into abilities and hacks later in like the conclusions portion of the video. For Ichigo scaling,
Vegeta, what did you say his power level is? It's over 9,000! 9,000?!
if we are going with the mid-ball, he would be the multiversal due to him being able to hold the weight of the three worlds in his hands, as shown when he did his Soul King training. He also scales to Soul King absorb Yuabaha in Shikai.
So the second half of that, I believe, is true. First half is not true. I don't believe just containing the energy gets you to... Well, I'll say this. I have to be very careful with this. I have to be very careful with this because in Bleach, Reiatsu quantity and quality actually does mean something. I know people like to say that with chakra, but no, in Bleach it actually does mean something. Equate to said output. Like in my head, in my scalar head, I know it shouldn't, but with Bleach, it's really akin to Yu Yu Hakusho, and simply just holding that power, it does things for you. It does things for you. Now, I wouldn't say like multiversal or anything like that. It really depends on how you scale it. I wouldn't personally say multiversal or anything like that. But the second half of his statement is definitely true. True Shikai Ichigo is comparable, if not better or stronger than base Yhwach. Yo, Mugetsu, my guy. What's good, bro? How you doing? We already had a live, but my grandmother called and I had to talk to her for like 30 minutes. But it was all good. It retconned the entire balance between worlds. Oh, did it? Well, see, here's the thing, Espada. The anime is doing that now, actually. Like, portions of the anime, I don't know if people were peeping it, but that was kind of retconning the Soul King, or, the balance between souls thing. Because when he goes, the world starts to fall apart, indicating that it's not a balance of souls holding it together. It's literally the Soul King. So, Urashiki plays a lot, but he really only struggles with Seals, Poison, and Sasuke. Everyone in Naruto struggles with poison, first off. I don't think there's a person in the series that has shown any type of resistance to poison. Struggles with Sasuke? How do you struggle? I mean, if you say so. I didn't watch all that. First half is true. The sword kept getting heavier the more he moved forward. Yeah, like the sword can get heavier. Like when Ichibe says what you feel is the weight of what you want to protect, Ichigo wants to protect the three worlds. He wants to protect the universe, right? Basically. I get that. I'm just saying, if we're saying like, okay, like when we say level, multiversal level, planetary level, what do these things actually mean? Are we talking about planetary DC, planetary AP, fully busting a planet? Which one are we talking about? Planetary / multiversal energy. Okay, cool. How high does that scale you? What is your AP then at that point? And then can you prove that through a feat? See, I'm not just critical with Naruto and or One Piece. We got to be critical with Bleach too. Are the things you're saying, are the things you're suggesting, can you prove that through a feat? Now, mind you guys, this is triple AP scaling. I'll say. So, like, if you hear me talk like this about Bleach, don't think, oh, Ab-Stract's downplaying Bleach. No, I'm getting Bleach to where it should be consistently on low balls. On low balls and minimums is what I go for. It just so happens that most of the series that I also talk about are below where I do have Bleach's low balls. That's really what people don't like. The fact that the series that I do low ball, they're just below Bleach. And it's really only Naruto. Because I really don't talk about anything else. So it's really just Naruto. Sorry. But yeah. Obviously with actual AP, a stronger stand wouldn't need to scale higher in total joules. It could just have greater AP or X. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is also one of those anime that was weird to get into. I'll ask you though, Michael. Should I get into JoJo? You just said what did I miss? Didn't Yuha literally say that true Shikai Ichigo is Mugetsu level? So some people take that statement to mean Mugetsu level. I honestly take it to mean Dangai Ichigo level. But it could mean Mugetsu level. I don't remember the exact panel if Yuha at that time is thinking of Dangai or is he thinking of Mugetsu. I'd go with whatever the interpretation Yuha is thinking about at that given moment. Well, the balance, I'll try to explain what I know very fast. Sasuke and Orochimaru have poison resistance. What feats of poison have they come across that they have resisted would be my next question. Pit and the Lid, Garganta, and Hell. You need to read the one-shot chapter also. In Ichigo's case, you need to scale to your enemy to be able to cut them, and he cut you out. Yeah, no. Espada, I'm not arguing that at all. But it almost becomes circular if we do it like that. It's like, okay, cool. Ichigo scales to Yuha because he can cut him. Okay, Yuha absorbs Soul King, but like, where does that actually scale Yuha's AP at that point? Right? when Yuha absorbs Soul King, yes, he becomes more powerful, but what it really does for him is like really boost all of his hacks and stuff. Now, this isn't to say that he can't destroy X or Y or Z. It's just I would like a feat for that before we put someone on a level. But this is why I'm saying with Bleach, it really depends because the amount of energy you have should scale to your stats respectively. So if Yuha absorbed the Soul King, and now Yuha is the one keeping the cosmology together, you would need the AP to be able to hurt the Soul King. You would need comparable spirit energy to hurt the Soul King. So until I make an official video on this topic, I'm almost agnostic with it. But I hope you can understand where I'm coming from. This is not to downplay. This is not to do any of that stuff. This is to keep this series as accurate and consistent as possible. I don't just give Naruto characters shit that they don't get, and I'm not giving Bleach characters shit that I don't think they get, right? There's a way to argue it though, with at least with Bleach. If in Naruto chakra scaled to stats with nothing having to do with any chakra control or quantity, or like if it just did something for you, you would not hear me talking about Naruto the way you heard me talk about. You would hear me talk about Naruto in a much more positive aspect, in a positive light. Sadly, that is not the case. With One Piece, I don't even need to do anything because One Piece is scaling. One Piece's scaling is ironically, like, I want to say it's inconsistent, but it makes perfect sense. One Piece scaling just makes perfect sense when you think about it. Like when you conceptualize it, it makes perfect sense. Like maybe not all the side battles, but the people Luffy fights and him overcoming those things, it makes perfect sense. It scales accordingly. One of my friends brought up a very interesting topic: Ichigo versus Cloud Strife. In my opinion, it can go either way depending on what materia Cloud has and which supernova meta you use. I don't know who that person is. Your voice is cutting out very couple of seconds. Oh, is it? Let me see. Thank you for telling me, bro. Hopefully the mic isn't getting damaged or old or anything. Most JoJo purists would insist on reading every part in order. I'm fine just recommending starting with part 7, Still Ball Run, as its peak in separate continuity from the previous parts. Alright, so if I were to start JoJo, where would I start exactly, Mike? Should I, like, because I'm going to watch the anime. I don't know if I have the time or the patience in me to read a new manga at this point. Because I'm watching Monster on Mugetsu's review. I'm on episode like 9 with that. I've been a little slow with that, but I gotta sleep. So I'm watching Monster now. I pretty much watch Bleach every day. Reading a little bit of Naruto every day. So to fit in JoJo, it would have to be the anime. What do you suggest with the anime? We have the feat for Yuha. He was breaking the realms while asleep, meaning he scales to that low multiversal. Alright. Alright, so breaking the realms while you sleep. I like, the most I can say is I'll need to like address this stuff in a dedicated video, because you gotta factor in certain things while this stuff is happening. Yes, he's asleep, which would intimate that he's not using nearly a fraction of his power to do these things. But that's also not an AP thing. Like, how would you scale the rift in the world of the living? How would you scale that? What AP is it? That's a genuine question, right? Even in Bleach, control is a factor. So Karibo, control is a factor, yes, if you want to get like better at it. But the point is, just gaining spiritual pressure makes you stronger than you were before. That doesn't happen with chakra at all. It doesn't scale to your durability or stats just having chakra. You have to put it to use. And then there lies the problem, because if you're working on a system where people are required to only be efficient when they're manipulating their chakra in a certain way, and then that energy also doesn't scale to you personally, the issue comes in when it's time to hurt people. It's like, okay, well, what's his chakra control? We don't know. He can just seemingly hurt this person. Well, okay, what's this weaker person's chakra control that can hurt the stronger person? We don't know. They can just seemingly all hurt each other. There's nothing distinguishing how strong or how powerful one has to be. There's no threshold one has to be. Like when we went over the One Piece video, that's why I really like that Doriki scaling, because it necessitated you at least had to be 5 to 10 times the even no selling attack to not be moved. In Bleach, when I do my video, I'm going to prove. I can't say anything definitively, right? Like, at least not in the realms of like 5 to 10 times. Can't say anything like that. But in the Bleach video, I'm going to prove definitively that, number one, Reiatsu is an intrinsic stat boost. Just having it does wonders for you. Number two, you have to scale to the person. I'll save that for a video because it gets complicated. But yeah. I have a fan theory. Mugetsu is a form of Let's Still. Ooh. See, but I don't know if it can be a form of Let's Still because his father also knows the final Getsu Gaten show. But let me read it. Mugetsu is a form of Let's Still. A Quincy ability, not a Shinigami ability. I think, okay. I think Ishin just said Ingetsu reversed the... I think Ishin just said Engetsu refused to teach him Mugetsu to avoid telling Ichigo about Masaki. Alright, that one. So, alright, that one is a little convoluted because it like rests on the assumption that Engetsu cares about Ishin's son. It also rests on the assumption that it is aware of everything going on. And I'm not saying it wouldn't be it being a Zanpakuto, right? But like it's a lot of assumptions in there. Anime is only up to part 6. So you might as well start with part 1 to get full context. Alright, I can do that. We'll start JoJo. I've always heard a lot of good things about JoJo, and it looks like a fun series. It's just time. By the way, this is a fire ass. Who made this? I'm gonna have to steal that. This guy, the Cosmic Guy. You don't know who Cloud Strife is? Look up Sephiron. So I know Sephiron. Well, I don't know Sephiron. I know Sephiron from Smash, like Smash Ultimate. I know Cloud from Smash Ultimate, but I don't know like how powerful they are. Was Kenpachi's control ever that great? Especially since he could only start walking on air after his training with Unohana. Yeah, no. Kenpachi... See, and that's the thing, though, I'm going to talk about. Because Ichigo and Kenpachi have some of the worst control. But they're also some of the stronger characters, right? So you could say, oh, well, the amount of Reiatsu they have cancels out them needing to control it. Right? You could say that. But even that wouldn't make up for the difference, though, in power, I'm saying. But, Kenpachi's control was never really that good. And he acknowledges this. I actually just read the fight with him and Kaname. Well, at least he says he's bad at sensing spirit energy. That's what he says. He doesn't necessarily say his control over Reiatsu is bad. But you're not going to find a lot of feats of control over Reiatsu. It's not that big a component in having spiritual pressure or spirit energy. It's not. Like, the most we see Ichigo training for that kind of stuff is when he's using the ball thingy to try and get into Serite. But like, there's not a lot of examples. By the way, this makes people angry, but Ichigo had planetary AP and durability, and Shikai when he stopped the execution of Rukia. The Sokyo coup was shown to take down the dimension with his son in there. It was shown? Is this a movie, Espada? We don't know Reiatsu levels. We measure AP and durability. Yeah, no, I agree with you. We don't know Reiatsu levels. We do measure AP and durability, but that's why I'm saying for the Ichigo and Yuha thing, like, it has to be a very meticulous thing that's going on. It has to be a very meticulous thing that's going on. One smart. We can know Reiatsu levels. The new manga Hell chapter told us they have levels categorized. Yeah, that's true. And Kariba, we can do that later. But they have categorizations aside from just 3rd seat, 4th seat, lieutenant, captain. We know Kai and Shiba had a spirit class of 6. We know captains have like 3 and above, and etc. etc. So we know that there are separations of power, and these separations of power actually tell us, how powerful you are for the most part, as far as like how much spirit energy you have, and generally how strong you should be.
Baha isn't using his hacks abilities, aka the Almighty. We also know that the Soul King was stated that he transcended everything when life and death were one, and he became the linchpin to keep the 3 worlds separated from each other. We also know these worlds are universes, as they have been called universes many times. We know they have stars, galaxies, and so on in these dimensions, these 3 worlds. And the Heiko Mundo is depicted as the same size as the Soul Society and the world of the living, which we know these 2 dimensions are equal to each other. We also see one of the Squad Zero members' existence shaking the 3 realms by the slightest use of her power, which would mean if she went all out, she could probably destroy the 3 worlds with just her pure spiritual power, like we see Iwabaha do near the end of Bleach.
Alright, that's an interesting take. That's an interesting take. Being able to shake the 3 realms with the slightest use versus going all out and being able to maybe crack the worlds into dimensions and stuff, which is what Yuha did. I like that. I'm not mad at that take. After watching, imagine being a kid in the 90s playing Final Fantasy and seeing that for the first time. Yes, in the first movie, and it was stated by Unohana that whomever wanted use the Sokyuku wanted to destroy the Soul Society. Next arc, Shinji told Ichigo his Reiatsu is echoing cross planet. Yeah, I remember that. The thing that Karibo is saying though is also, and I think he's correct on this. I agree with this. We would measure it through its AP. We would measure these people through their AP and their durability. Scaling with creation and scaling with destruction and scaling with energy can be iffy, right? Like, I can't give Ichigo, quote unquote, see, but it's weird because Reiatsu is stats, right? So him being able to cut Yuha or injure Yuha, who now absorbed the Soul King, that does mean something, right? But see, no, I'm just gonna wait until I make a video about this kind of stuff, because I'm gonna end up saying something that's gonna make someone upset, and then other people are gonna be upset that I didn't say the right thing. I gotta make a video about it, to be honest. It's very hard to consider. You think spirit classes were what that scrub Arankar that Hisagi got a budget increase for his Shikai when he defeated was yapping about? Oh, the more of my mask I break, I become captain level. Kind of. Actually, yeah. You're talking about Findor Callius, if I remember correctly. The guy that always went Exacta. Yeah, him. Yeah, each level of his mask he removed, he gained a boost in spirit energy. And that might not have been what he was exactly talking about, but the general idea was that the more spirit energy you're releasing, the stronger you're getting, or the stronger you'll be. And when he said I'm at a captain's level now, yes, that would have been around 6th class as far as spirit energy. Sasuke resists Meno's poison in spite of it being completely foreign to him. They mentioned the poison resistance when Sasuke first showed up in part 2, if I remember correctly. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Well, the dinosaur Meno, right? The one you think is multi-continental, which is hilarious to me, by the way. That's still crazy. Let me see. Should I DM you the link to the full Supernova animation on Discord? Yeah, you can send it. You can definitely send it. Take your time. Bleach's greatest strength is its mystery. For example, why is Yuha inside Ichigo? Rereading the manga reveals he knew everything, even Ichigo's fate dying by his hands. Yeah. And also clears that up. Yuha pretty much knew of Ichigo before even Aizen might have knew about Ichigo. And so, yeah, I gotta rewatch Core 3, to be honest. At least the first 5 parts.
There's more evidence to go for multiversal Ichigo, but time is of the essence, so I'll just leave it as that. But to take this a step higher, we know that the Dangai is also stated to be a hyperspace, which the kanji used can also be used for hyperspace, the same as how it was used for each the same benefit. It was also translated in French to mean hyperspace as well.
What in the fuck?
So the Dangai is also for the sea souls characters and like regular humans interact with the Dangai, well, not regular humans but Quincy's, such as Iryu tripping on 4D ground. We also see Ichigo's dad forcing the Dangai open. We also know that Aizen surpassed the cleaner, which governs space and time, of the Dangai, and is said to be of reason, which means Aizen's power already transcended the reason of 4D being, making Aizen 5D, and then Mugetsu
Let's go over his reasoning for that real quick.
and like regular humans interact with the Dangai, well, not regular humans but Quincy's, such as Iryu tripping on 4D ground. We also see Ichigo's dad forcing the Dangai open. We also know that Aizen surpassed the cleaner, which governs space and time, of the Dangai, and is said to be of reason, which means Aizen's power already transcended the reason of 4D being, making Aizen 5D, and then Mugetsu transcended Aizen.
See, with that, I personally wouldn't use, like, you can mention the reason thing, but I wouldn't mention the reason thing at all. I'd solely focus on the restrictive current, the cleaner itself, how it doesn't get affected by the restrictive current, and even Aizen destroying the cleaner only got thrown off by his time axis. He didn't even get thrown off by his time. If you remember, the one when Ichigo and friends were going to the social side first time, they got chased by the cleaner, and they gained a whole like 8 or 7 days. Aizen destroyed the cleaner, took his leisurely time, missed no time at all, and came just maybe on like the edge of Karakura Town. So like I wouldn't go with that argument personally. Also, Tessai, just a normal Shinigami with no transcendent statements, can use time manipulation Kido, adding more credibility to high dimensional Bleach. Yeah, that's true, but like for that though, bro, also I'd want to see these. I'd need to see this Kido in action. I know it exists. Don't get me wrong, I know it exists, but I gotta see these feats in action. Honestly, it's too much speculation if we just say they have it. It's like, okay, how potent is it? What can it do? Is it above other concepts or laws? You know, we gotta see.
And is literally stated by Aizen that Ichigo is on a higher plane.
Alright. And so this aspect also adds credence to it. Yeah, I'll save it for the video.
Slash dimension than himself, which we know Aizen is being literal here.
Saying people with the same amount of Reiatsu have the same stats just doesn't mesh in my head. Alright. I'm trying to think of a good example for you. What's a good example? So, like understand people can be naturally strong or fast, right? Actually, how do I explain this? How do I explain this? Let me think. All right. So we know that Reiatsu. We know that Reiatsu, even without it being put to intentional use, or maybe we don't know this. I know this to be true. If you don't know it to be true, you can do some homework, or you can wait till the video drops. But we know that Reiatsu inherently already does something for your body. It makes it stronger. It increases your perception. It increases your speed. This is bore out in the series. You can go watch the first season of Bleach. Right? And we know the more Reiatsu you have at any given time than another person you're fighting, we know that you are more powerful than them. We see this as early as Ichigo versus Renji, where Ichigo says Renji got slower, but in all honesty, Ichigo just got faster because his rise in Reiatsu. Right? But his rise in Reiatsu wasn't so great that Byakuya couldn't still handle him at 20%. So a rise for Ichigo being above Renji in just pure Reiatsu was a rise in pure stats, versus Byakuya, who's still way above Ichigo, is just way above him in pure stats because of his Reiatsu. Right? Kenpachi is faster than Yoruichi, even though his speed is never treated as a major part of fighting style. Do you know why Kenpachi is faster than Reiatsu? Yeah, and that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Kenpachi is faster than Yoruichi. If he wants to be, it's just not his fighting style. It's really not his fighting style. He'd much rather let you think you're fast and have a good sword fight with you. Note, Aizen couldn't sense Ichigo at any point during the final, meaning any point during the final, meaning Ichigo was consistently transcendent above Aizen, yet Aizen still could still somewhat damage Ichigo's arm. So yeah. Well, that one's a little different because right before that he does a transformation where he becomes like, his face rips and all that stuff. So he's evolving throughout the course of that fight. And mind you, this was also an Ichigo who literally just sat there and took the attack, and all that was burned was his arm. Yeah, all that was burned was his arm, and then and Michael, I'm not even saying you have to be like bar for bar as strong as someone to injure them. That's not what I'm even saying. I am saying though there is a threshold you have to be in. And that threshold, we can actually, like how you did your Doriki scaling, we can actually find that out in the feats. Because thankfully, in Bleach, we have the Espada, and we know for a fact at the very least that each number is about 2 times stronger than the base of the, we know that each number might be anywhere from 2 to 5 times stronger. Because if I remember correctly, in my video versus Green Zhao, no. In my video versus who was it? Toshido versus Noitora. And mind you, this was early Ab-Stract scale, so don't hold it like to a But I had them being at least 2 to 5 times stronger than their bases because each Espada would have needed to perform a Resurrección, which is at least 5 to 10 times. To be stronger or as strong as the Espada above them. So yeah, there's definitely a barometer for when you can hurt people, and I'm going to distinctly show what I think that is based off the feats and stuff like that, because there are even people like Chad who can no sell attacks with his hand. because he eclipses the person he's fighting in spirit and spiritual pressure. So it's like, yeah. Kazui smokes Naruto. Like shit. To take the visors back to Urahai's lab. Yeah, Tessai used Kido, Jinkateshi, temporal stasis, stops time within a specific area. Instantly swaps the position of two spaces. Okay, I didn't know that. If Kazui was raised by Naruto, his name would be Ichigo, because Naruto is an L pops. Chill. Also, Ichigo did a full power slash against the suppressed Kenpachi. Kenpachi was unscathed. Ichigo's hands were bleeding because the Reiatsu different made Kenpachi so hard Ichigo's hilt tore his hands. Yeah. Like, for example, like you can even, and there's multiple examples of this in the story. Right? The one I always like to mention is Ukiura taking a fully holified Getsuga. That's probably my favorite one because it's a real clear it's a super clear distinction between gaps of power. Ichigo couldn't hurt the man while he was standing there. He didn't put up a defense. He didn't even use his wings. His spirit energy alone blocked a full attack. Mostly giving pushback to people using Aizen's statement to support dimensional arguments. If dimensional scaling held true as most people asserted, Aizen wouldn't have been able to do any damage. But like, alright, so like Michael, I get that. If Aizen didn't like literally transform right before he damaged Ichigo, I think I'd agree with you. But he does transform right when he like injures Ichigo. This isn't to say that I agree with the narrative of dimensional scaling though, right? I'm just saying there's justification in him being able to injure that Ichigo. There is. Yeah, Mugetsu, I got the link you sent me, bro. Dude, Naruto is the GOAT. Don't hold it against our boy. His show was ruined because of money. Everything up the pain arc in Naruto becoming the hero was gold. If Naruto was Kazui's son, he'd bitch about his dad. Because that's all there is to Boruto. Before his son runs away from him. What is the video right now? Hey, what's good, Shinigami? Alright, so we're watching a Naruto versus Ichigo. Who would win realistically by Ignil or something like that? One smart. That dumb lizard couldn't even be the dude missing an arm. Yeah, Karibo, like, you gotta chill off that damn reanimated raptor. Like, you say it's multi-continental, which is ridiculous to me. That makes no sense how you could get that thing to multi-continental. It makes no sense at all. But, yeah, it was good, Shinigami.
Because he explains dimensionality and how it works in Bleach. And just to point out, when he talks about dimensionality, he says just as how XYZ, and he doesn't say just like or like XYZ. So he is being literal, and I know if Naruto fans had something like this, they will do the same thing as the Bleach fans. So this would put Mugetsu Ichigo at 60, and we could argue 70 because of the Dangai has 4D space and 1D time, even though they have multiple layers of time around the Dangai.
See, like, you notice like Uryu and Ichigo are relative at this point, but Uryu's attacks aren't doing much to Ichigo. Anyone know why that is? Let's take a look at this again.
4D space and 1D time, even though they have multiple layers of time around the Dangai.
So he got hit with like 4 of those. He got hit with like 4 of those little mini-sized arrowheads. They clearly showed to hurt him, but they didn't do any visible damage to him. Now we obviously know this is an AP thing, right? But the answer, the clear answer, is that Ichigo The Reiatsu he's giving off in his base Shikai is stronger than what Uri was attacking with. It still hurts him, but it's not causing any visible damage, right? It's not injuring him to the point of breaching his skin or anything. Maybe if enough hit him at a concentrated point at one time, yada, 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 sure. But the few that hit him...
As 4D space and 1D time, even though they have multiple layers.
And mind you, and just think about this. Ichigo is the same guy that deflected 1 million blades from Senbon Zakura with, 10 meters distance? These things are firing damn near maybe 2 to 3 at a time, and he's struggling to block them, which means they're faster than 100 million blades enclosing on you out at the same time, because Ichigo could block all those. He's struggling to block these, and he's getting injured by them. But my fault. He's getting hurt by them, but he's not taking damage.
Of time around.
Yeah, I hope the point is getting understood.
The Dangai. True Shikai Ichigo should scale to his Mugetsu because of the Yuabaha statement that he has regained the power he had that defeated Aizen.
Oh, hold up. If that's the statement, hold up. He says, the power you raised up to take down Aizen Sosuke, and that power that you lost to defeat him, you've regained it, only to cut down the life of the... Oh, okay. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. So, true Shikai Ichigo is Mugetsu level. Not even Dangai level. He's Mugetsu level. If this scan is true, mind you, I do not know Japanese. And this is probably the worst part about my scaling, because I can get really lazy when I don't know something. Like something like this, obviously. Like, if I can figure it out, I'll figure it out. But, like, translations are annoying because I know different cultures have different syntax. I know they have different language barriers and stuff like that. So it's hard to determine if this is what's really being said. But if this is true, it's a wrap. Yeah, Shikai Ichigo is about as strong as Mugetsu. Then anyone that scales a true Shikai Ichigo would also scale to Mugetsu at around that time. So yeah. Hey, JJ, I definitely do got a Discord. Hold up, let me put it in here real quick. On Discord. On Discord. Alright, where is my freaking profile though? Oh, there we are. Select all, copy here. Okay. Yeah. Also, Neji, who is literal genius, stated multiple times by lore, forgot he had rotation and died to a slowly falling stick. If your inverse genius forgets about his defensive abilities. Is that what happened in Neji? Did that nigga really say he forgot about rotation? That's retarded if he forgot rotation. I'm not gonna lie. I sent an Ichigo versus Naruto video on Discord. Stream it later, lol. Okay. Let me see. Depends on how long it is though. Cause I might save that for tomorrow's stream, to be honest with you. Menno managed to scratch a guy who can survive drag through multiple mountains. It's not like I'm putting him Jigen or Kinshiki because Sasuke was holding back. Well, alright, Karibo, time out. Did you miss my whole cipher of breaking down the whole chakra thing with Naruto? Right? Well, no, I guess I don't know if it. I don't think it really matters / works. Like, here's the thing. It sounded almost like you were hyping up Sasuke getting hit through mountains and debris. This is a regular thing in any anime that has decent durability scaling. This is not impressive. This is not good. At all. Like, Sasuke probably has the worst durability out of any Deuteragonist. Uryu's is better. Zoro's is better. Who's Natsu's Deuteragonist? I don't know. Sasuke was
And then Ichigo could use his Bankai, which is the combination of his Shinigami power, Quincy power, and Hollow power, and his Fullbring powers, which each of them, well, the main ones, gives him a 10 times multiplier, and I'll explain. As shown, when Ichigo mainly used his Quincy's power for his Bankai in
That's right, Gray Fullbuster. Thank you.
most of the story of Bleach, and that Bankai can keep up with masters of the Bankai, so it's a 10 times multiplier and not a 5 times. Then his Hollow power has been stated to be superior than Bankai, and most people who...
Alright, so hollowification scaling. Hollowification scaling, see, with this whole, it also being a 5 to 10 times increase, that one's a little contentious for me. And it's because we don't really have a direct statement. What's happening here is Kaname's talking shit to Komamura, but really on being a Soul Reaper. He's talking shit. And there's no direct confirmation of whether it's 5 or 10 times, right? But here's the thing. We know in Bleach, Kubo's writing is very paralleled, right? So you have a Shikai, then you have a Bankai. You have a Rancor who has a Resurrection, which is comparable to a Bankai. You have Let Still, and then you have Volstindish, right? So we have these parallels. The same can be said about the Hollow Mask because there are 2 stages to the Hollow Mask. You have the Hollow Mask, and then in Kaname's case, you have Resurrection. Now, Kaname just putting on his mask outclassed Komamura, and Shikai outclassed Komamura and Bankai. There was really nothing he could do. So saying it's a 10 times amp really wouldn't be crazy with the feats. It wouldn't be crazy with the feats. And then Kaname has his second Resurrection, Griayo Grillo or whatever, where he becomes a big cricket. And then he completely outstats Komamura. As far, well, no, he doesn't completely outstat him. He doesn't completely he doesn't eclipse him. But the difference in power is so notable. Like, I think I don't think there was a time he could have one shot. Oh, no. He did one shot his Bankai, actually. He did one shot his Bankai. And he actually did catch his sword. But Komamura still did land a hit on him that did pretty good damage. But, So, Hollow Mask scaling is interesting. You could definitely argue 5 to 10 times with base Kaname going from Hollow Mask to fighting a Bankai. You could argue it, right? How does Discord code work? Let me see, bro. Let me see. I might be able to... Let me do it like this. I'm not sure how the Discord code works, but you got to go to your home, go to your messages, and then add friend. Well, just tell me yours, JJ, and I'll add you. I can add you, bro. He wasn't, though. He didn't have one fight in the entire work where he used a significant amount of jutsu. Not to count my eggs before they hatch, but I'll also betting Yuna from Black Clover beats Sasuke. Yeah. Black Clover scaling's kind of crazy, not gonna lie. Yeah. I said mountains because I think about base kid Sasuke getting swung around by Naruto. What were Ichigo and Luffy doing at 12? Well, Luffy, I can't speak for Ichigo, but I know Luffy was going through some hell at 12 years old. Hell, he was going through hell at 6 years old. You know what Garp had that man doing? Hey, Michael, didn't Garp throw Luffy in like an abyss? The same abyss that Naruto went through at like 12 or 13? Luffy got thrown into that when he was like 5 or 6 or some shit. I can tell you this, before 12, Ichigo lost his parents. So, do you think Lille's trumpet blast scales to Mugetsu? Yeah. As far as the AP, my balafel, I lied you. As far as the AP shown, yeah, Lille's trumpet is a really good feat. It's a really good feat. Because it pretty much vaporized everything in the area except for where Nanao was blocking. BALAFAL. Okay, it said it was sent. So if it's not that, then it's wrong. But yeah. Neju was low on chakra. All the Hugo were pay attention. Hey, okay, cool. Thank you, JJ. Alright, let's get back to it.
Have both Bankai power instead, even though it has a time limit. So his hollow power is bare minimum 10 times, and then his true soul leaper power is also another 10 times multiplier in Bankai, because that's his true Bankai. So in actuality, his true Bankai is a 30 to 1000 times multiplier in stats, which we see his stats increase with Bankai. And we know that multiplier statements isn't for show. We could also argue that his true Bankai seemingly became his Shikai, as his base Zanpakuto is still the same version as the one that killed Iwabaha. So he could have a new Bankai, or he is just in Bankai state all the time, but I don't think that's the case, but you can decide that for yourselves. He also has the Horn of Salvation, which bare minimum is another 10 times amp, because the Horn of Salvation is pretty much just the mask, but in its horn form, I guess. I've seen higher multipliers for Horn of Salvation, but don't want to explain it. But bare minimum, it should be equivalent to his mask state. So it's another 10 times, because we've seen Horn of Salvation slapped on top of his Bankai. So Ichigo in true Bankai plus Horn of Salvation is 40 to 10,000 times. All in all, Ichigo is multiversal.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that method of calc stacking or stats stacking. I can get behind the Bankai and I can get behind the Horn of Salvation. Everything else was kind of weird. And I know it came before, which makes it even more weird. Because he was kind of scaling past things and calling them multipliers. But those things really just go to his base. So, like, it's just kind of weird. It's just kind of weird. I don't know. I don't do that.
As a mid ball, and 6 to 7D as the high ball. Now let's get into his speed. So for speed, to start off, if y'all haven't seen my video on Asta and Meliodas versus Vasto Lorde, Ichigo, and Seijo 6 Pass Team Naruto video, I recommend you do, because in that video, I explained why Vasto Lorde Ichigo is around 70 million times stronger and faster than his Soul Society self using multipliers, given in that video. And Soul Society Ichigo in Shikai scales 2 and above some captains in their Shikai forms, which they have dodged the Nagashi on light, which would be bare minimum be light speed, since it's called light and looks like light. So we can assume it's light speed, same as how we assume lightning is lightning speed, unless there's evidence to prove it's faster or slower. So why not do the same thing for light attacks? And don't bring up that it's spiritual light, because it doesn't matter. And if anything, it should more likely move that fast or faster, due to the spiritual light actually not having any physical mass, unlike photons, which have a mass but it's just so small we can't measure the mass. And the light could be amped by spiritual energy to make it faster, so it should be light speed as a bare minimum. You could also argue that Bankai Soul Society Ichigo is high-end 6.66 times light speed, due to him swatting away billions of mini blades of Byakuya's Bankai, which is stated to be billions. So I use...
Yeah, Ichigo knocking away Byakuya's Bankai, billions of blades. That is a really impressive feat, actually. It's probably the most impressive, like, it's one of the most impressive combat speed feats that we see. Like, I don't know how many people are actually swapping hands with that. I don't know if anyone in Naruto can replicate that feat. I don't know if anyone, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if anyone in One Piece can replicate that specific feat. We're talking 1 billion blades, or 10 billion blades, or something like that. But yeah, it's really impressive.
The 2 billion as a bare minimum, and we see Ichigo hit each blade by swinging his sword, and you can see every time he swings on panel, his blade hits Byakuya's mini blades one at a time. So you could argue Ichigo swung 2 billion times in a second as a high end, or lower end in 30 seconds, which still gets him to 22.22% the speed of light. But if you add all the multipliers, he will be in the multiple times faster than light plus ranges, if you don't want to use light attacks as light speed at this point of the series.
Hey Michael, if you're still here, I just saw your thing about the is the giant Rasengan ever stated / demonstrated to have greater AP than the regular Rasengan, or does it just have greater energy output? That's a great question, and I've been meaning to do some calcs on the Rasengan versus giant Rasengan, because logically, the increase in size will take away from the AP, but it's really just consistent in Naruto that their bigger attacks are stronger in Naruto, at least. So we'll have to see if it increases in size, but like the energy value actually stays the same without losing AP. That would be one thing. That'd be interesting. But the more likely situation or case / scenario would be that it would drop in AP with the increase in size. That would be the more likely scenario. But yeah, I've been meaning to do some calcs for the big ball Rasengan, or for the giant Rasengan. And one way I thought about doing one is taking the feet of the regular Rasengan, whatever one you want to use, take the feet of that regular Rasengan and say, okay, cool. If it fragmented this much rock, put the numbers in. If it was like 15 centimeters larger, or however much bigger it is, and multiply the energy within there. And okay, cool. What does it do to the rock now? Does it do the same thing? how would the energy distribution work? All with like ChatGPT probably, and checking with other people and stuff. But yeah.
Also, don't bring up light attacks from end of series, since those light attacks are also amped by spiritual energy, so the user could make the attacks
Giant Rasengan has higher AP. Alright, so Karibo, you think the Giant Rasengan has higher AP. Why would the Giant... So like, make the case for me. Why would the Giant Rasengan have higher AP if the volume is increasing? If the total volume is increasing and he's making it giant, so he's putting more energy into it and the volume is increasing, right? Versus the hand size Rasengan, right? Well, so it could be. Make the case for me though, Karibo. Like, do we have a feat of it actually doing more than a regular Rasengan? Or are we just thinking it's better and stronger because it's bigger? Very skeptical about the Ichigo deflecting one blade at a time. I don't think it would be possible with how close together Byakuya's blades were. I think I can grant that. I don't personally think it was one blade at a time. When you're moving your sword as fast as you are with the precision he is, you're not hitting there. I don't think there would be a possible way to hit one blade at a time. If anything, he's doing an omnidirectional movement. It's still impressive because he has to block every angle, right? He has to block every angle, so it's still impressive. But I don't think he hit every blade. Will you be watching the Supernova on stream? I'm curious where you think the technique would put Sephiroth and Cloud and Bleach Totem Pole of Fire. Probably tomorrow. I actually gotta eat because I'm tired and I've been eating all day. Yeah. But did you send me that one, Mugetsu? Was that the one you sent me in the DMs? If so, I'll probably watch that along with Shinigami's video he sent me as well. We can watch those tomorrow.
faster, same as how one of the Bambis who uses lightning, but you wouldn't assume it's lightning speed since you don't want to assume light attacks are light speed. And also she does use spiritual energy for her lightning, so she could make it faster, but that's all up to y'all. Anyway, Ichigo, like end of series Ichigo, should be massively faster than Light Plus in the millions of times, because Ichigo at that point of time is millions of times stronger and faster than his Vasto lower day form in the Arrancar arc if you just use the multipliers given in the series. Now then, let's get into hacks and abilities and the conclusion. So when it comes down to stats, Ichigo does have the advantage pretty solidly. Ichigo is
It's very impressive. Yeah, it's a 2-minute video. Oh, it's only 2 minutes? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll probably watch it tomorrow then, though. I gotta eat after this, man. He said building level Candace. Like shit. She's getting fucked up.
Multiversal ranges as like the lower end and higher dimensional in the higher end. Whereas Naruto, if we just stretching his arguments, he is at best multiversal, but that's like complete wank for Naruto characters. And as for speed, compared,
the video I sent is nearly an hour long. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We can watch it Sunday tomorrow. What time are you guys gonna be free? Because I'm not too sure if I'm gonna be doing an early morning stream or like a afternoon or an evening stream. Because I didn't go to the gym today, which I kind of feel bad about. But I got a lot of work done, so I'm not too mad. So yeah. What time are you guys free tomorrow? What would y'all want?
to Ichigo, it's extremely massive. Ichigo does have the speed advantage. He's solidly in the massively faster than light ranges, whereas Naruto, everybody's just capped at light speed. everybody
Michael.
just has light speed attacks. So nobody actually gets faster, although they may seem to be getting significantly faster, but it's just not the case when it comes down to the manga. So even if you want to use the light novel, Naruto still isn't fast enough. So speed scaling, Ichigo has it. Realistically speaking, Ichigo just flexes his spiritual pressure and just obliterates Naruto. But what if we equalize that?
The Kara accusation arc explains it in the most understandable way. Kakashi explained that he can't use Giant Rasengan because a lack of chakra. So Kakashi can't use Giant Rasengan because of a lack of chakra. Even if he increases the volume, it wouldn't increase AP. I mean, yeah, but generally, to get a better AP, you want to decrease the volume and increase the concentration of energy, or the total joules is what you would want to increase. The character limit makes it hard to explain. You can send it to me on Twitter if you want to, bro. The Boruto manga is really bad at portraying how strong characters actually are. Boruto's new Super Rasengan supposedly scales to the planet's rotation, but just shook some trees and made a guy dizzy. Yeah, that's true. Here's a lie about some mysterious cat. Uryu is low-key underrated in smart character baits. He might outsmart Sasuke. Sasuke is not really that smart. He's not really that smart. Like, no. Sasuke is smart, but Uryu is also just as smart. Uryu has some really good planning, prepping phases, and execution phases. And Uryu relies on less people 9 times out of 10. Sasuke usually has a team or someone else he's fighting with. Always sounds like Ignil is confused in his own videos. Laugh my ass off. That's funny as shit. Yeah, his delivery is kind of shaky sometimes.
Does anything change with their abilities? The answer is no, not really. And here's why. So first things first, I mentioned in the intro that I am not going to be equalizing energy systems, because not only are the energy systems drastically different, but we would be giving Naruto the ability to physically interact with souls, whereas we know he doesn't have that ability. Being able to interact with your own soul isn't the same as damaging the other people's souls. Also, interacting with Madara's Limbo clones doesn't mean he can interact with souls, since we could say that the clones are able to let you interact with it, like how Sakura was able to punch a clone, or Naruto has interdimensional range with his attacks, but that isn't the same as soul damage, which we only ever see Truth Seeker orbs damage the soul, so I can't give Naruto a free OP ability unless we do the same for Ichigo, because if not, then only Naruto will be getting a amp, which wouldn't be fair for Ichigo at all. So since Naruto hasn't demonstrated the ability to interact with souls, therefore if they actually fought, Naruto has no way of harming Ichigo, whereas Ichigo has durability negation by attacking the soul directly, which we know in Naruto that there isn't a way to defend your organs from an attack like Gentle Fist, bypassing your durability to hit your organs, which is probably why Naruto and Kurama got knocked out by Himawari, hitting Naruto. So Naruto would have no way of protecting his soul, nor do we know if your soul scales to your physical body, because we see the likes of Obito's soul looking like a child compared to his adult form, and same for Kakashi. but even with that, we haven't actually seen a soul throw hands in Naruto, so we can't say if they do scale to their physical bodies. So Naruto would also just get soul crushed if Ichigo wanted to do that. Also, just to add on, just because we see early Bleach have like Chad damage a soul with a power pole, that doesn't mean these souls are now physical beings.
So yeah, I did research on this instance with Chad. Chad doesn't actually hurt this hollow, like at all. Like when you see the hollow and it gets up, it doesn't have any damage on him. Yes, he was able to interact with it, but and maybe you guys can check for me. I didn't see any damage on that hollow at all from anything that Chad did to it. But I could be wrong. Bro, it's okay to hate the fans, but hating the series because of the fans, not cool. I hope you ain't talking about me, red hair. Triplet, I hope you ain't talking about me. I don't hate nobody. I don't even hate the Naruto / Boruto fans. They're annoying, sure, but I don't hate nobody. In the series itself, I don't hate either. It's really just the scaling has been taken out of proportion. How bro gets slumped by a literal toddler. Fam, Ichigo would never. Ichigo stopping the punch and delivering discipline. He ain't getting slumped. No, that's a fact.
That doesn't mean these souls are now physical beings, because you can simply argue that Chad has non-physical interaction, so he can grant other things like a power pole those properties to damage a spiritual being, which again, Naruto hasn't demonstrated such feats. Of course, Naruto would sense and see Ichigo, but he wouldn't be able to do anything but catch an owl.
Alright, so yeah, this level of verse equalization is a little too high for me, right? If I'm going to do a versus battle, the people are going to be able to injure each other. It might not be like 1-to-1 they can injure each other because based on certain AP and factors in power system, but I wouldn't do this. It almost begs the question of why make the video if you're going to have Ichigo not be able to be interacted with on a physical level with Naruto. So I can see why Kuribo would be mad at this. It's like, why'd you waste 32 minutes if you were just going to say Ichigo is intangible, or Ichigo, my fault, is can't be harmed because Naruto doesn't have soul damage, you know. And the other part of me says I understand this because it's no verse equalization, and in my heart of hearts, I do believe that's kind of how it would go. But I wouldn't entertain the fight at that point. I wouldn't make the video. Deepa has a jutsu to become super hard in carbon. Kakashi agrees that the giant Rasengan would work, but Boruto can't learn it. For the rematch, Boruto invented the compressed Rasengan to boost power. Exactly, but that's what I'm saying, Kuribo. Like, the compressed Rasengan can fit more energy into a compacted volume, which would make it stronger. Now, the giant Rasengan isn't like by default weaker though. It still depends on who's using it and how much energy they put into it. Because if the volume is like ginormous, but then each cubic centimeter holds more energy than the Rasengan's smaller form, then the giant Rasengan is winning by a landslide. Because now you have the total joules. I'm sorry, now you have the AP, the total joules, and the volume being much, much bigger or larger than the base Rasengan. Not you, Triplet, just saying in general. Oh, yeah, okay, got you, bro, got you. Yeah, no, I don't hate no Boruto fans, but yeah, I got you. Is that what is that on my screen, yo? I hope that's not on my screen.
So just to know...
Oh, that's not on my screen. Good, I was about to fucking flip. Naruto for real got toddler level durability. It'd be crazy, man. It'd be crazy. Like, the things that be happening in Naruto is, I mean, and the characters. Naruto is a little better, but like just the people in there is be crazy. The giant Rasengan increases AP through increasing chakra. The compressed Rasengan increase AP by focusing on a single point without increasing chakra. The base Rasengan is weaker than both. Okay, cool. So this still kind of plays into one of my original points about the Naruto series, though, because I've always said, Zalius has always said, people in my community have always said the Naruto verse achieves high AP through large AoE. A giant Rasengan would be a large AoE. If you're saying that the compressed Rasengan is stronger than the base Rasengan, but it's still weaker than the large Rasengan, this would still be proving our point that the Naruto verse achieves high AP through large AoE. Vice versa, if the compressed Rasengan did actually pack more of a punch, then this would also speak to the point that AP is joules per centimeter cubed, and that more concentration is better than large AoE. I only do verse-equalization if the power systems are functionally similar enough for it to make sense. For example, Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach are similar enough. I just equate it. Exactly. Yeah, no. Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach are so close. It's not even funny. You can easily do a cross verse with them, and it wouldn't be like some monumental changes taking place at all. Right? And I treat Hollow, Reiatsu, and Yokai as similar. That's a very good point. Exactly. Two different classes of energy for different beings, but still technically under the same system, right? So yeah.
Sage of Six Paths doesn't grant Naruto the ability to manipulate all of nature or reality or whatever, as I've seen those types of retarded arguments and statements in the data books. The reason why I say
yeah, that, like, I don't know if you guys have ever come across a Naruto fan who has like argued Naruto can command all things in nature, and they've like literally ratted and died on that hill, bro. It is the most annoying thing, because it's like, yo, why are we here? If you're gonna bullshit around and quote fucking statements with verbally, we're all gonna act like this wasn't meant to be taken literal. Why the fuck are we here? Like, why are we wasting time talking about Naruto versus anything if you're just going to say, oh, he commands all things in nature. Nature encompasses the universe. Naruto's above the universe. Shut the fuck up. Go touch some grass. Go get a girl. Like, that be the most dumb shit I've ever heard. I've actually heard arguments like that, though. Mind you, I've never been in them because I don't waste fucking time. I already know what time it is by how you even present your argument. 2 minutes into a conversation and maybe 5 minutes into a text conversation, I can already tell where this is going to go. And then I make my decision of whether or not I'm going to be a part of this conversation. You guys have seen me on Twitter. Sometimes I do it for content, but a lot of times you guys don't see it. I'll just bow the fuck out because I'm not about to entertain no dumb shit. Because of jutsu like the Giant Rasengan, it will never feel right to have their AP in a lower tier than their DC. It will never feel, because of jutsu like the Giant Rasengan, it will never feel right to have their AP in a lower tier than their DC. So the thing is, and I'd have to verify this statement. I'm accepting everything you're saying as true, but I still have to verify this stuff. The thing is with that is, like, not every jutsu works that way. That'd be the only thing. That's cool for the Giant Rasengan. What about Sasuke's Indra arrow? What about a tailed beast bomb? Is the tailed beast bomb, does it have more AP than the mini tailed beast bomb per cubic centimeter? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Honestly, I don't. And yeah, so it's kind of hard. And the golden divine spirit energy that Yusuke and Sensui are used. I still have to finish that fight. I meant to watch the fight. Super Reiatsu and Royal Palace. Yeah, I like that. By the way, Naruto can't resist Hollow Poison. Ichigo would win with that alone. Hollow Poison. Hollow Poison. I don't know about that one, bro. You have to break that down to me. Send me some scans about that or something. Hollow Poison. I don't remember that being is that like a I don't know if it's a pertinent thing in a fight with them. Like, how would Ichigo impart the Hollow Poison? Like, I don't really know too much about the Hollow Poison, not gonna lie.
This is because Naruto's best feat with Yin Yang release is that he created Kakashi's Eye, revived Obito, and saved Might Guy. But he couldn't save Obito from turning to ash, which means there is a limit to what he can do. And before I end the video, I know I can go in depth with their abilities, but it is just irrelevant based on how I set up the stage of the fight and how if we don't grant Naruto special amps and abilities to affect and actually do something to Ichigo, then the fight is just a one-sided slap. Also, just to state the obvious, but Naruto doesn't have the True Seeker orbs anymore, so he can't affect Ichigo, nor would those orbs be able to damage Ichigo, even with their soul erasure hacks, because every fight in Bleach is soul based, and how they can also erase souls like the Quincy's. So yeah, all in all, in my interpretation and how I laid down this hypothetical matchup, Naruto would lose 10 out of 10 times. Yep, I can already see the Naruto dick riders raging in the comment section. Well, I'm always down to debate if I'm free, so here is my Discord. Send a friend request to debate me on the topic, but till next time, peace.
Okay, yeah, so that wasn't like, the video wasn't like great as far as scaling goes. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst shit I've ever heard, which is also a good thing. Like, I agree with the conclusion, but not based on the fact that it would be Naruto not being able to injure Ichigo. If Ichigo wins, in my head at least, it's because Ichigo outclasses Naruto, not because Naruto can't hurt Ichigo. Although it's a funny win con, and maybe in an actual like versus match, that might be how it would go, depending on how you like interpret things. But I'd want it to be more fair than that. But it was a good video. It was a good video. Do you have time to watch Supernova? All right, Supernova is the 2-minute thing you were telling me about, right? Let me see. Except for our Supernova. Alright. But I have to watch this Monster. I'm only on like episode 7. SAP. Except for our Supernova. is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
Hey, if you live in one of these cities right here, why don't you own an apartment building? Seriously, let me show you a path that could absolutely change your life.
Nah, that was kind of fire. That was kind of fire. Like, I only know Sephiroth from literally just from Smash. I don't even know the verse him and Cloud are from. I just know him from Smash, and he's a really easy ass character to beat. I'm not gonna lie, but sometimes he can be annoying. But that was cool. My man destroyed a sun, Jupiter, Pluto, a galaxy, I think. And yeah, that was kind of fire. That was kind of fire. Angel's arrow clashing with giant Rasen Shuriken means it functions the same as it is fueled by the chakra of the other Biju, and they canceled out in their explosion. I mean, that wouldn't necessarily mean it functions the same. It could just be Sasuke. All the energy that Sasuke stole from the Biju would have amped the total joules of it to even out with Naruto's 2 Rasen Shuriken. It depends, man. I wouldn't like, cause like, then the claim would be, okay, every jutsu works that way. Then we'll have to like look at every jutsu, and I'll definitely find where that's not the case. But you know, I'm not really trying to do all that right now, because the comet made the sun explode as well as causing the supernova. Would that technically make it solar system feat? No, technically not. If his single attack destroyed that, then yes. But it was kind of like a chain reaction thing. I'll probably end up watching that again. I had to see everything because I was watching, but like I have to see everything because I was trying to also understand what was going on because I didn't have any context. So we can watch that again tomorrow along with Shinigami's video that he put in there. But yeah. But all right, y'all, we got to get out of here. I gotta eat some dinner. It's hungry as shit, and I'm thinking about watching. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna watch Monster tonight. See how that goes. But all right, you beautiful people, take it easy. All right, come chill with me tomorrow. Come hang out.